What is up? Welcome to another Credit Card News live stream. I'm Cal Barton. It's good to see everybody here, and I see the love. I just want to say, I want to shout out to a few people. I see you, DJ Bruce Wayne, who was here an hour early, by the way. We're going to talk about the Chase credit limit increase strategy a little bit later today. And I see Delonda, Plumber, Danny Boy, always there for me. Appreciate you being here in the stream. F. Davis, Chilsey said, I look forward to your stream every single week, man. Listen, I'm really appreciative of that, man. I love seeing comments like that. Really gets me pumped up. Deep Dimples, I see you. Ron said, I love all your videos. Let me shout you out, Ron. I like seeing that stuff. And it's really good to just meet once a week. I do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. And it's good to see everybody like at the same time and be able to interact with one another. And just remember, you can post your comments, recommendations, any of your questions, because there's a lot of knowledge in this chat right now. We have 47, almost 50 people here tonight. So it's good to see everybody. So let's get started with the news real quick. We have a quick rundown. Let's get to it. Boom. All right. China is coming for your credit cards. So since the Dodd-Frank financial reform law was passed back in 2010, an under-the-radar company called UnionPay has been processing debit card transactions in the U.S. thanks to provision in the bill referred to as the Durbin Amendment. So UnionPay was created by China's central bank in 2002 and is funded by the government. The 2010 law required banks to include alternative networks, including UnionPay, as options for merchants to process debit card transactions. Now, despite the wave of spy balloons, right? Spy balloons were coming over the border, being shot down by the American military. The same people pushing the debit card policy want to do the same thing to the credit card market. Giant corporations, including Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, Target, and Kroger, just to name a few, have teamed up with some U.S. lawmakers to push legislation that would allow UnionPay to process your credit card transactions. So there's going to be some controversy there. Obviously, you don't want China's being looked at more and more suspiciously. I even saw, listen, not for nothing, I saw a story earlier today that said that the whole lab leak, it was deemed a conspiracy before. Now they're like official government organizations thinking that this is actually the most plausible, the most likely explanation for what happened with the pandemic. So that would seem like, if you mentioned that at all when those theories came out, like you were like shunned and condemned. But now the government organizations are kind of running with that narrative. This is interesting times we live in. So next we have make your credit cards less vulnerable to fraud. So last year, one of my family's credit cards was used to rack up hundreds of dollars in bogus charges at apple.com. Dealing with the aftermath taught me to prize security over convenience and to change some bad habits that made me an easier target. So sites where you make multiple purchases each month need to be monitored carefully for bogus transactions. Compare what your credit card statement says you've charged with your purchase history on the site. And if you find fraud, report it, even if it's beyond the 60-day deadline. I also learned that I could lock my card in the mobile app to prevent unauthorized use. Unlocking it when I want to make a charge just takes a few seconds. That seems pretty extreme. Would you ever do something like that? You would lock your card? I know it's really simple to do within the app. All you got to do is unlock it with your fingerprint, or, if you're on Android, or if you have an iPhone, then you, in this case, you would do face unlock. Would you go through that extra step to basically unfreeze your card, flip that switch? Let me know in the comment section. So unlocking it when I want to make the charge just take a few seconds. I already had two-factor authentication, which requires a code and a password to sign in on my financial and email accounts. I also added it to my most used retail sites as well. I've also started using a mobile payment system wherever possible. These systems, which include Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Samsung Pay, create a token that's transmitted to merchants so that your credit card number is never exposed or stored. This reminds me of another story, and I should have included it tonight, where people are having issues with the payment method, the peer-to-peer payment method, Zelle, between bank to bank. So if you don't know what Zelle is, they're a consortium of like large banks got together and said, we need to make a a competitor to Cash App and PayPal and the like, and it's being used by most people because it's included within your banking app. But the problem is it's not covered under the same protections as credit cards are. So whenever somebody like will commit fraud, or maybe they just trick you into sending them a payment to the wrong account, you're pretty much out of luck. If you have a hand in sending a payment to the wrong account, you're not getting that money back. There's no safeguards on that. And people are really learning the hard way about this. And I even saw another story about someone who had their their iPhone stolen. But before it was stolen, they were at the bar and somebody was able to peer over their shoulder and observe their PIN number. And they later, they took their phone, used their PIN number to get in the phone, and they immediately changed all their passwords, like within minutes, and then were able to get into all their banking apps, drain their accounts. It was like a huge nightmare, and they couldn't even use Find My iPhone. They couldn't even, it was just a whole ordeal. It took them weeks and weeks to even get any sort of, rectification, some payback. So this is definitely becoming more of an issue. Credit card fraud. It's one of the biggest types of fraud that you can encounter. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Have you been a victim of credit card fraud or anything? I want to hear from you. So credit card debt, on the other end of the spectrum, is higher than savings record for record percentage of Americans. So month over month, stubbornly high inflation has squeezed Americans' budgets to the point that many are relying on credit or dipping into their savings in order to make ends meet. Now, the percentage of U.S. adults with more credit card debt than emergency savings has reached a new high in survey results released by Bankrate. More than 1/3, or 36% of U.S. adults reported that their credit card debt outweighs their emergency savings. That is the highest level record recorded since the poll launched 12 years ago. And it's marked an increase from 22% in January of last year to nearly half of respondents, to 50%, said they have either less money in their emergency savings or more at all compared to a year ago. So listen, this credit card, as we go deeper into 20, I was about to say 2003, obviously, that's wrong. 2023, we're probably going to see these problems exacerbate. We're going to see, probably more inflation. People are going to be using those credit cards more and more for grocery shopping, gas station runs to fill up the tank. And it's going to get a little tough, guys. It's going to get a little tough this year. So definitely want to pay attention to the credit card debt. Keep that under control. So credit card delinquency rates for new users were higher than for those with established credit. So in the U.S., many new borrowers' ability to pay for debt or pay off debt was slightly less favorable than that of more established credit card customers. And this is pretty standard, right? This is what you expect. So according to the new Empowering Credit Inclusion study by TransUnion, new to credit, or NTC, consumers who opened credit cards over the last 2 years reflected a higher credit card delinquency rates after their first 6 months following opening their accounts, compared to people with established credit card and similar credit scores who opened new credit cards during the same time period. So the credit card delinquency rate for near prime NTC consumers was 3.4% compared to 2.2% for near prime consumers with established credit. And so if you don't know what prime is, basically prime credit score is your good credit, usually over 700. I forgot the exact range, but you're looking over 700 when you're considering prime. And so subprime is going to be below that, and super prime is going to be just above that. So for prime NTC consumers, the delinquency rate was 1.2% compared to 0.7% for prime users with established credit. So listen, if you have more experience using a credit card, obviously even you're just going to behave better and perform better. I think that makes perfect sense to me. Americans have a collective $21 billion in unspent gift cards. Now, this should never be an issue, by the way, guys, because there's so many options to get the money off of the gift cards. We'll talk about that. So some people love them. Some people hate them. Worse, a larger number of of us who receive them on special occasions are indifferent to them or even forget about them entirely. So just think about that for a second. Let's pause. You have people that can't make ends meet. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They have they're mounting credit card debt. The delinquencies are skyrocketing. But you have mountains of cash on gift cards. It's like having money laying on your table, not using it, but you need money. I don't get that. So they're indifferent. So that means they don't care that much. They forget about them. It's like change in the cushion of your couch. So such is the sad fate of gift cards, millions of which go unused each year and have a collective value estimated to be in the billions of dollars. Almost 2/3 of Americans consumers have at least one unspent gift card tucked away in a drawer, pocket, wallet, or purse. So they're treating this thing, when you tuck these things into a drawer, that we call that sock drawing a card, but you're not supposed to sock drawer cash money, okay, or valuables. You're supposed to use those or save those in like a savings account, high yield to be exact. And at least half of those consumers lose a gift card before they use it, according to a new report from Credit Summit. The report said that there is as much as $21 billion of unspent money tied up in unused or lost gift cards. So listen, if you have a gift card right now, I'm speaking to you, okay? I'm sure you have an Amazon account. First place you got to look is to go onto your Amazon. If you have a Visa branded gift card that you can use anywhere, just go ahead and load that up to your Amazon account as onto the gift card balance there. You can use that for anything on that website. They have hundreds of millions of items that you can buy. I'm sure you can find something useful to you. All right. If you have a branded gift card, maybe it's just something like what TGI Fridays or whatever, like you got a gift card to, Cold Stone Creamery, right? You can take that into a website like cardcash.com, and you're going to pay a little bit of a fee. It might be like a 2 or 3% fee. You're going to take a little bit of a hit, but at least you got cash money at that point. You can transfer it over to an Amazon card, maybe for a little bit more value, or you can just get it for cash back and you can cash that out to like a direct deposit to your checking account, something like our PayPal. So those are two ways that you can use the money on your gift card. You don't want to let that sit, okay? Don't want to let that's free money. You want to use that. That's your money. So next, Senate panel targets the collection of gun sale data by credit card companies. So some people love them, some people hate them. Yeah, that's the wrong thing. I thought I had that squared away. Give me a second on that. Let me find this story for you guys. Just give me a second. Let's do this. Can't let this story pass by. This is a good one. Sometimes you can't trust copy and paste, guys. You can't even trust that. So credit card companies could face fines up to $10,000 per violation for tracking firearm and ammunition sales in Florida under a measure approved Tuesday by a Senate committee. The Republican-controlled Senate Banking and Insurance Committee voted 7-3 along party lines to approve a bill that would target yet to be enacted plans by some credit card companies to create a separate merchant category code for sales of firearm businesses. Similar 4-digit codes are already used to separate purchases and collect data from places such as grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants and bookstores. So my question, listen, I don't really have a dog in the fight here. I know there's going to be a lot of divided people. Should they be tracking gun sales on, with category codes on your credit cards? A lot of people would say no. They would give a hard no to that. I don't know exactly where I land. I would probably go for a no as well. But I just want to know, are we going to get some bonus? Are we going to include that into some bonus categories, right? Are we going to get some, are you going to get like 5% back rotating category on the Discover It card for gun purchases? Will that ever happen? Probably not, right? All right. So Biden selects ex-MasterCard CEO Ajay for World Master Bank president. President Biden will nominate him for the former president and CEO of MasterCard to serve as the president of the World Bank. So he is currently the vice chairman of General Atlantic, a private equity firm, and would succeed David Malpass as head of the World Bank. So Malpass was tapped for the post by former President Donald Trump and announced this month his plans to step down on June 30th, 4 years into his 5-year term. The World Bank president has been an American citizen since its founding after World War II, and the U.S. candidate is traditionally chosen to head the bank. The nominee must be confirmed by the World Bank's executive board. So, I just wanted to really cover this as another example of how in politics, this is another example of the revolving door. You go work in the private industry, you get to the head of a company, and they just whisk you right into the government position that's associated with it. And this is just more of the same. I mean, I guess from a level of experience that you have experience in the industry, but it's still like if you just left the company, then you can just do favors for the company you just left. You probably have deep ties into the industry. They're just gonna rule in their favor. So that's kind of my outlook on it. But let's see how that goes. It's next story. Stripe expands Tap to Pay to Android, turning NFC-enabled Android devices into payment terminals. So Stripe, the payments and financial services upstart, made waves in the world of mobile commerce last year when it became Apple's first payment partner for Tap to Pay. The iPhone giant's moved to turn any iOS device into a payment making or a payment taking terminal. Now Stripe is expanding that business by a factor of Google. So Google's like it's 1 to the power of 100, I believe. So from today, businesses that use Stripe terminal to take in-person payments now will be able to carry out tap to pay transactions on NFC equipped Android devices too. So this is funny. We always see like the iPhone, they'll do something, and then a year later, like Android will do it, or vice versa. iPhone, Android will do something, and maybe 3 years later, iPhone will do it. So it's just like copycat all over the place. But one place I think that this could definitely be useful is for small businesses or sole proprietors. Like in the past, I've been a sole proprietor. I could see people that are, I've had, in the near future, I could see myself doing a garage sale, right? And so you could, if you want to sell a lot of your, products from home, you're going to get probably a lot more people willing to buy for higher amounts if they can pay with their credit card, especially if they don't have the money, right? They don't have the cash on hand. They have a bunch of available credit they can use. So it'd be nice to be able to accept payments in that way. They can just tap using their new card and you're good to go. You got, you basically you're able to reap the benefits of kind of being a larger business by accepting credit cards. And those terminals can be like $100, Could you see yourself using a feature like this on your phone? Or have you used it already? Let me know how that works. But also, guys, listen, if you like streams like this, you want to see more content like this on YouTube, go ahead and like the stream. It's free, right? You get a nice little animation for it. It looks like fireworks. Go ahead and like the stream for everybody here. Where are we at? And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to everybody on the stream. I think we might set a record tonight. We're going to cover what you want. I know you came for Chase. We're going to talk about that very soon. Over 100 people on the stream right now. Hello to everybody that hasn't seen me before. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and say what's up. We run a nice community here and everybody's nice. If you have a question, go ahead and ask it in the chat. A lot of valuable and information can be gleaned from the chat. So what do we have next story? So next, Wells Fargo seeks to catch faster growing rivals by boosting engagement with rich clients. Of course, they're focusing on rich clients. Wells Fargo is unveiling a new platform to boost digital engagement with its 2.6 million wealth management clients. The service, called LifeSync, lets users create and track progress on financial goals, ingest content tied to their plans and contact their advisors. It will be delivered through a mobile app update in late March. Banks are jockeying to provide their customers with personalized experiences via digital channels, and this tool should enable Wells Fargo to boost satisfaction and loyalty. CEO Charlie Scharf, is that how you say that, Scharf? I've never seen the name before, has highlighted with wealth management as one source of growth for the company, along with credit cards and investment banking, amid his efforts to overhaul the bank and appease regulators. So that really goes in line with, I know this is for wealthy people, but they've been saying at Wells Fargo that they want to release more credit products, and we're probably going to see that later this year. I know last year they were supposed to release like 5 cards, and they only released like 2. They had the Active Cash, which people like to some extent, and they have the travel focus card, the autograph card, which I have. And they had a nice like $300 sign up bonus with that. I know Wells Fargo is like the most hated, and it's well deserved, by the way, why they're hated so much. Okay, they've done a lot of shady business, and they got a lot to answer for in the community. All right, so I covered this in my newsletter, guys, and it's definitely a valuable weekly update, and I cover more in depth some of these news updates on my newsletter. If you want to sign up, it's going to be in the pinned comment on the stream. And so this is just one thing. I found a lot of resources out there for free. I know a lot of people want you to pay for things like this. It's available on government websites, so you can dispute credit reporting errors completely for free. And so these guides, they give you a template for, and this is on the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau website. And so they give you a guide for disputing errors with each credit bureau individually. And then you can do that online. They have links to the online account, but you can also get a template to, it's like just a general Word document that you can edit, and it'll basically just walk you through the information you need to print out that letter so that you can send it physically to the credit bureaus. And from my research, I found that those do hold some benefits and more weight when you do send a letter. And there's also another guide that helps you dispute inaccuracies with the credit furnisher. And so if you don't know, a credit furnisher is just a company that will send those negative remarks to the credit bureau. So it's like a bank, apartment building, or a cell phone company, or just any company that you dealt with that is saying that you're 30 days, 90 days late, or they put you to they reported you as a non-payment. And I'll post those links if you want that. I'll probably throw those on the useful links section on my website just so that you can have access to it. But that's on my newsletter as well. So you can find the best credit card sign-up bonuses completely for free. And I can post this link as well. This is a new site that I found. So that allows you to see or decide whether now is a good time to sign up for a given card. It shows how any card's current offer and how it compares to the best offer ever given. So for example, the Chase Ink business cards are offering $900 sign-up bonus, and that's an all-time high, which you can see I have circled here. And so what's good about this is that, I've even found for myself, I've always wondered, is this the best that they can offer? Because this goes in cycles every few months, every depending on the economic depending on the economy and how their business is going, how profitable the company is, they're going to offer these and rotate them out. And so right now, for example, with the Ink business, you can get $900, which is amazing. It's almost $1,000 just for signing up and meeting the minimum spend requirements. Amazing. I think if you look at something like a Chase Freedom or Chase Sapphire Preferred card, right now you're going to get about 60,000 ultimate rewards points for the sign-up bonus. And I think the all-time high, it's going to tell you on this website that it was about 80,000 or 100,000. So if you're somebody who really is meticulous about when they sign up for cards, then you can look at a site like this and make a determination whether now is a good time or you want to just kind of wait and see how things go. And I'll post the link. Actually, let me get the link to this. I'll post it while we're chatting after this presentation. All right. And then next we have find. This is let me delete this headline here. So guys, if you don't know, the Curve Card had a little issue. They had a little snafu, okay, over the weekend. I've been testing out the Curve Card. So if you don't know, the Curve Card is essentially a MasterCard debit card that you can link to your existing debit or credit cards. So you only need to carry one, and you can then use your Curve Card to pay, and it passes on those transactions to your link card as a purchase. So how this can really be beneficial is, like, for example, I have 2 Citi Custom Cash cards. I wish I had 3, but it basically allows me to combine those custom cash cards and send into one using the Curve Card. So when I use that Curve Card for groceries, or I use it for gas purchases, then it will automatically route those purchases to the correct Citi Custom Cash card. And so basically it makes it easier for me to just, forget about using that 2-card setup. It basically makes it into a 1-card setup. Ideally you'd be able to combine all your cards. It doesn't work that easily, and I found some issues with it. And, so that being said, they mistakenly sent out a mass email telling everyone that their accounts were past due and threatening to report it to their credit agencies. And then shortly after, they sent out a follow-up email apologizing for the mix-up. And so if you can see, wouldn't this be startling when you get an email? Okay, I got an email from Curve. What's going on? You're 30 days past due. You need to pay up, or we're sending this to the credit agencies. Listen, I'm trying to make moves out here. I'm trying to potentially buy a house. This is going to be a problem. If I have this hit my credit, it's going to cause this not to go through, and a lot of people might, have their heart drop for, or their stomach kind of sink when they see something like this. You don't want to have this hit your credit, because it can drop your score by 100 points. Who knows, depending on your credit profile, so that's a shame that this pretty much went out to everybody. If you look in the forums, everybody was getting this message. It was all over the place. So I kind of chalk this up to a fintech. The thing about fintechs is that they're very good competitors. They're going to give you great rates on high yield savings accounts. They're going to give you new and interesting credit card products. The flip side is that these fintechs do make mistakes like this. A seasoned veteran like Chase, you're not going to see them send out a mass email to the millions of cardholders saying this. That's just not going to happen. And fintechs are also more likely to kind of completely cancel cards, get rid of them, lower your credit limit, do weird things, just change it up on you. So you just have to keep your eye peeled for that. Now, finally, Chase made it a little bit easier to get, and I got the wrong headline here. Chase made it a little bit easier to get a credit limit increase. Now, what they're doing, you can see the direction they're moving in, which we'll talk about. So Chase is now allowing eligible cardholders to request a credit limit increase through their app without performing a hard credit pull, which was previously standard practice. The option is found under the transfer a balance option, which you can see here in the app. I have it. This is actually my cell phone, and I have access to it. So it's for pre-approved credit limit increases will not involve a credit pull. So you basically, what that means is that you have to have been pre-approved. Once you click through on this button, for some people, they will have it will be laid out. They'll say, listen, we pre-approved you for a $20,000 limit on your Chase Freedom Unlimited card. It'll just state that outright. And they're basically making it easier now. Before you would have to call in for something like this, and it would always be a hard pull. So now they're letting you see up front at your leisure. You can check this anytime. It's not rolling out for everybody yet, and you may not. For me, I didn't see anything available to me, but it's you can see where they're headed. They're basically trying to find to basically pair up or kind of level the playing field with other issuers like Capital One. This is one thing that Capital One actually does well. They are, and Discover Card does well. You can request a credit limit increase and you don't have to worry about a hard pull, even though they're likely not to give you an increase for many people. At least you can do it on your own time, and you know that it's not going to harm your credit. So if you don't know exactly how to get there, you just got to go to your card. So click on your card within the app, then go to manage account, and then you should see this this request a credit limit increase. And if you don't know, some general rules about Chase, they definitely are an issuer that looks mostly for high usage. They're looking for you to actually use the card. They want it to be what they call top of wallet. They want you to be using that card a lot and throughout the months for most likely, 3 or 4 months straight. And oftentimes they'll give people an automatic limit increase. But after doing that, you should see something available to you. I know one of my coworkers, actually, just as a data point, he had, under the Just For You page, he had a Chase Sapphire Preferred with like a $20,000 limit that he had been completely pre-approved for. And when you get pre-approved from Chase, that's a 100% lock-in. That means that you got the car. It's just there for the taking. Okay. And also, guys, if you again, 12 credit limit increase strategies, I have that available on my website. You can actually get to that on the pinned comment. And let's see what everybody's saying. Let's see what everybody's saying here. It's good to see everybody on the stream. Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. I hope we got some credit limit increases. I think we broke a record today. 135 in the stream. I like it. Go ahead and like it for me. Like the stream for me if you want to see more like this. We have any good questions? They have good topics here. Doug Evans, man, I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome. You said greetings, Cal and company. How you doing? Robin Coco said 100,000 ultimate rewards points is the all-time high. So that's equivalent to 1,000. Was it? Yeah, $1,000. That's $1,000. That's amazing. I might sign up for one if it's that high. Fred Newton, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Duran Russell said, I got a $12,000 credit limit increase this week. Listen, that is amazing. Where can I get some? Let me get some air horns for you, or just let me clap. Let me know if you guys can hear that. That's really good. A $12,000 increase. What car was that on? Nino, thank you for the super chat. Man, you over here. Kiss camera. Thank you for the super chat. Danny, thank you. He said 100 plus viewers on the stream. Congrats. Oh, Duran, so you have a $12,000 increase on the X1. Listen, I've been using the X1 card so much. I've been actually using it as the family like general spend card, and I still haven't got an increase. So, I mean, I did start out at 15,000, but I've seen people like with a $30,000 limit on that card. I'm like, where is my limit at? Congratulations on that, by the way. Coach Anthony Miller, you said just on the live, does this apply to business credit cards too? So I did see, as for some data points, I did see that for the Chase business cards, that there were people who were seeing an option to request the credit limit increase. But I will warn you that people were saying that there was nothing there available to them. So I'm not sure if Chase is just slowly rolling this out, and it's not truly available. The increases they're not really giving them out freely at this point. But I think it's something to really pay attention to and keep an eye on. And I would just check it on a monthly basis at this point to see if, whenever something's open to you. Chris V said, I just joined the live. Chris V, welcome to the live stream, man. The best said, Cal, you got $500 on Citi Custom Cash. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I do use most of my limit for groceries, and then a little bit of my limit for like gas purchases. Those are the two categories I use my custom cash for. And I actually stopped using my Curve card completely. I just kind of put that to the side, and I've been using the physical custom cash cards. All right, I think I got it that time. That's a clap for whoever needed it. Miss Barton, how you doing? All right, the Raven Group said low key they rolled this feature out last year. It just wasn't available to everyone. Yep, you're right about that. You're definitely right. Danny Boy said, any new cars you're planning on getting? Okay, so Danny, I'm kind of in the middle of like kind of a home purchase, so we're trying to get that squared away. So I gotta stay in the garden for a while, but I really needed to be in the garden because I want that Chase, man. I want that Chase business card. I want to get in that ecosystem on the business side. And I want that sign up bonus, but that 524 rule is so tough, man. I had a lot of cards I applied for last year. And so I won't be under 524 until next January, right? So I gotta wait for some time. So I might be in the garden for a good long while. Yeah, so Danny, you said I think 524 doesn't apply to the business cards. Yeah, man. I'm not sure. Let's see. I called in because, okay, for example, with the business cards, right? You remember when those reports came out at the end of December that said that the business cards were kind of becoming relaxed as far as 524 rules go? I called in to customer service, and they actually acted a little annoyed when I called in and asked them. He said, "Who told you that?" It kind of made me question like Chase's customer service. Like, wow, this is not nice. I'm supposed, like, you're supposed to be pleasant 24/7 with your card holders, but I think Amex definitely beats them customer service. But they were annoyed because they're like, you're not the first person that called in to ask about them, Chase relaxing the rule for business cards. So I think I'm not exactly sure that 524 applies, but I know that it wasn't available to me. Like, I wasn't able to get approved for a business card with Chase. Clyde Horn, somebody asked me a similar question. He said, how do you get an 800 credit score? Now, I know it's tough. I think you notice that people who are older are far more likely to have a 800 credit score. Like, a lot of my coworkers are like, my parents' age, and they have, they'll have like the 820s and 830s all over the place. And they're not even trying. They're just doing the bare minimum. They're just making, regular payments. One of the big factors, I believe, is that average age of accounts becomes a big factor in getting that perfect score. And the FICO scoring model wants to see an average age of accounts over 10 years. When you're younger, that's really hard to do because you haven't been in the game that long. You haven't had credit for that long. Okay. So you need perfect payment history. You need like a 1 to 5% credit utilization rate. And then you need a long history of age of accounts, decent credit mix, between revolving and installment accounts. I think it's better to have like 6 or more of those. So yeah, that a combination of all that's going to give you a really high credit score. ISO Junior said, "What's your thoughts on the business Venture X that's soon to be released to the public?" So from the information that I know so far about the business version is just it's identical. It seems like to the personal version, but I do see benefits. If you travel for business, this could be really good for you, because I think it's one of the best travel cards. I think for bang for buck, it's a very value. It has a lot of value, I should say. I have the Venture X personal card, so I don't really travel much for business cases, but if I started to, I might consider it. Business cards are something that I've really been leaning into more heavily, just because business expenses have been going up. But I'm going to tell you a real key difference that really helps you during tax time when you're trying to when you have a business and you're trying to do some tax strategy. You always have to take account of all the purchases you made for the business, and that's really hard to do when you're using personal cards, because it's all mixed together. It takes hours just to, they're so commingled. It takes hours just to extract and divide those purchases up, those transactions. Then you also get a second set of sign-up bonuses to hit, and that's nice to have. All right, Wondering Doc said, "That's not a new card at all. I've had the invitation link from my relationship manager since October 3rd of last year." I just want to take note of that phrase, relationship manager. That's when you know you got a lot of money. That's when you're doing some big business. When you have a manager of relationships at a given bank, that means you are a valued customer. Just by the way, we got some heavy hitters in here. Yeah, Richard said, relationship manager equals baller. Yeah, it means you're balling. Duran Russell, I'm just now seeing this. I'm going back. You said, how many cameras are you using to film? All right, so right now I have 3 cameras. So I have a A camera that's right in front of me right here. Then I have a B cam here, and then behind me I have a back camera. Okay, I got 3 cameras. Oh, we got another increase. I got the Bank of America cash rewards with a $4,000 starting limit. Congratulations, Fred, 2023. Really good job. I don't personally have a Bank of America card, but congrats on getting that approval. Duran, I encourage you to start, man. All you got to do is start right now. You know what I mean? That just have a sense of urgency and get after it. Space Kid King, what's up? You said, got here late. What's going on with Chase? I have a Chase Freedom credit card. Okay, so let me catch you up to speed, Space Kid King. That's a mouthful. Just in general, let's go over to the slide. This is what it looks like. If you go into your app, Chase is just rolling out kind of a new feature called request a credit limit increase within the app. All you got to do is click on your card, go to manage account, and then you see a credit limit increase option. So it's good to kind of check this, I would say, on a monthly basis. Chase is just showing that they are trying to become more friendly to increasing your credit limit, because they're going to do this. If you have an offer available to you, if you're pre-approved, then they will increase your limit without a hard pull. So traditionally they would have a hard credit pull. Now it's just going to be a soft pull, or they would already check your soft pull your credit and determine that you're worthy for an increase, and they're just going to give it to you now. So that's a really nice addition. Wonder what I said was, what's the cost of your YouTube setup? That's pretty ball. Oh, well, listen, there's a lot of, okay, so the back camera is going to be very cheap. That was like $15, but the other two cameras are a few $1,000s. I don't know what the total costs exactly off the top of my head. Mark Sutt said, any stats on the TD Bank credit cards? Well, I don't really know much about TD Bank. I know they have a 2% card, cashback card. I'm not sure what else is in their lineup, honestly. Yeah, I'm not sure. TD Bank. I like the TD Bank is open on Saturdays. I like that. The fact you can go in there. I believe I went to TD Bank for, if you need a notary, by the way, guys, if you ever need a notary, you can get it for free at a bank like TD Bank. Just go in there, ask for one on during the business day. I think you can also go to like a UPS that have notary there as well. Dominic Giordano, I hope I said that right. He said, nice setup, no BS, just high quality microphone and cameras. Yes. Yep. And you don't have to overthink it, but you know, I like to, I'm a little bit more techie, so I like to have more intricate setup. Hip Hop Thinker, he said, what's your overall opinion on Navy Federal Credit Union cards? So let's see. Listen, if I don't know how like deep you are into the credit card kind of niche, into the enthusiast kind of community, but that's a really highly favored, very loved institution. It's the largest, you know, credit union in the world, I believe, but definitely in America. And they give you high credit limits fast. Once you kind of, once they get to know you, spend some time, use their products, they will give you high credit limits. So if you need funding, if you need working capital, if you have a business, maybe they're good to go to. Their credit card products they're not going to give you the highest rewards, but their flagship card is nice. They, you know, it's only a $49 fee, but you're getting 3% on travel and then 2% on every other purchase, which is solid. It could be an all around card. So I think it belongs in your repertoire. But it definitely shouldn't be the only, you know, kind of credit card lineup that you look into. Dan, yeah, my longtime member said, I'm happy to be a member of Navy Federal and PitFed. Yeah, man. They're good. They have great customer service too. People give glowing remarks about them. F Davis, man, thank you for the super chat, man. You said great stream as always. So much knowledge on the stream. Listen, there's a lot of knowledge in the chat right now. A lot of people got ballers in here. We got personal banker relationships in here. Businesses getting run. If you have a business, let me know in the comment section. I look up to you guys. Listen, Alex Campbell said, I just hopped on and I already know you're talking about Navy Federal, king of the credit unions. Listen, I can't say too much bad about Navy Federal. I'm not a member of Navy Federal. I wouldn't mind being one. Yeah, I like their more rewards card, and I like their flagship card. I could see myself using either of those. They don't have a flat rate 2% card, which I think, you know, every credit union should have to fill out their lineup. And credit unions aren't, the thing about credit unions is they're not going to give you a high sign up bonus, which does make a It's a pretty big deal to a lot of people, and they're not going to give you interesting credit card rewards. They don't have travel partners, so you're not. They're not going to be really travel focused like that. So yeah, but they have a nice little lineup. Hip Hop Thinker, he said, does anyone know if military service is required? It's not required. You just need to have a family member that was in the military that can basically refer you. And if you have like a roommate, that's like the kind of the easiest way to get in. If y'all share like, you know, bills and you can prove that, then you can get in the Navy Federal, and then you're a member for life. Yeah, so Doug Evans said, how does Navy Federal card compare to premier cards like the Chase Sapphire or Amex Gold? They don't compare. They just don't. I think it's just apples and oranges. It's a different animal. I think that it's with Navy Federal, you're getting access to higher credit limits. You're getting a better relationship. You know, you're getting access to lower interest rates. So I just look at it from those aspects. Like there are some bright spots with the credit union. You know, they believe more in personal banking. They're going to work with you on loans. You probably want to go to them for a car loan or a business loan. From that perspective, it's good. But they don't directly compete, not at all. They just don't. Because a lot of people who want to sign up for like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, they're looking into getting like really technical. They're getting really nerdy with it. They're looking for the right travel partner. You know what I mean? They're trying to redeem those points for the highest redemption value. You just can't do that with the credit unions. All right, Tormeistor. I hope I pronounced that. He said, what's your opinion on the potential relationship between banks and cryptocurrencies? I would say that off the bat, I need some more like detail on that. I'm not too familiar with where things are at in that landscape. I'm not, but just to speak on crypto individually, I'm not for that crypto at the moment. I don't really see it as a useful technology. I'm not writing it off completely. I think a lot of people lost a lot of money using it to try to get rich quick, and it ended up very badly. A lot of people lost money when FTX collapsed and it was a domino effect across, you know, those crypto networks. I think we need to hold off until it proves itself to be a technology that's worth, you know, worth its salt. Yeah, so Chris V, I covered that a few times. You can kind of rewind in the stream, but basically they're making it easier for you to access within the app, within the Chase app. There's an option called request a credit limit increase. It's going to be a soft pull, and we can kind of see the writing on the wall that eventually they're probably going to be offering credit limit increases a little bit more frequently to people. And as far as how often, you can go in the app and just check. I would say once a month. Check once a month, see if it's available to you. All right, ISO Junior said, is SoFi Plus worth it? So SoFi Plus, if you don't know, is basically it's really just a name for what SoFi is offering. Really for free. It's not much more. You get access to SoFi Plus when you direct deposit a certain amount. You know, you basically direct deposit your paycheck into SoFi accounts. I think it's good. You're getting the higher interest rate on your savings account and a few other perks. It's really not a big deal. I think it's something just for branding and just for them to market SoFi just to say, oh, we have a shiny new, like a plus badge on something that's just a standard, you know, option. It's just you direct deposit your paycheck, you get a few extra perks. They're not worth writing home about. Alex Campbell coming through big dog, $58,000 in credit limits between 2 cars in 5 months with Navy Federal. Let me know another bank moving like that. Yeah, they're not moving like that. Alex, man, that's huge. Those are huge limits, man. You're not gonna see that really anywhere else. They are one of a kind. Guys, man, I appreciate you helping me break a record tonight. Guys, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, I do these live streams every single week on Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm going to see you next Sunday, guys. And thank you for watching, hanging out with me. All right, y'all have a good night.